Hello world, this is Prince, political correspondent for PrincessDailyJournal.com. I am in the city of San Diego, California, and as you can see, I am in a beautiful campus here at my old alma mater, San Diego State University, and the man sitting next to me is Chief Diversity Officer, Dr. Aaron Bruce. He is a Renaissance man, he has traveled the world, but he's really an international citizen. So thank you, Dr. Bruce, for joining me.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Great, great. So let's go ahead and start the conversation about introducing yourself and what you do here at San Diego.
Right. Well, as a Chief Diversity Officer at San Diego State University, I'm responsible for helping create an inclusive and supportive environment for all our faculty, staff,
Right.
students, alumni, and visitors who come to campus. And I work closely with senior level administrators, our vice presidents, as well as the deans of different areas of our campus, and a variety of different committees committed to diversity and inclusion strategies.
Great. So tell me, how did you get this job?
It was a national search. First one was by video because I was living on the East Coast at the time.
Okay.
And then they flew me out for a few interviews, and I met with everyone in the university from top to bottom. And at the time, President Steve Weber hired me and put me in place to help launch a new era in diversity and inclusion. So everything from a diversity website to professional development for faculty and staff were some of the first things I got involved with. But on a regular day, I might be working with student veterans or different American Indian tribes in the region. It's a fun job.
It's a fun job. I see you enjoying it.
I am quite a bit. Every day is interesting.
No, I had a chance to actually read your biography. You have an extensive international resume. You held management positions in Latin America, Africa. You're a diversity trainer, certified. You are the vice president of Southern California Association of Diversity. You are the member of a National Association for Diversity Officers in higher education. I can go on and on. So I got to know, where did this passion for being a part of the international community came from or stem from?
Right. Well, I think a lot of my passion comes from my parents. I mean, they're a very inclusive family and very supportive.
Right.
And took the time to expose me to a lot. I can remember back to when I was a youngster where around Christmas time, they wouldn't buy us a whole bunch of gifts all the time. After we got to a certain age, the gifts disappeared. We'd get one gift and we'd get a plane ticket. And that plane ticket opened up doors to the entire world. So I can remember going to Venezuela as a youngster and being on the plane, and my father said to me, we're going to Venezuela. And I said, Dad, do you speak Spanish? Does Mom speak Spanish? He said, no. I said, well, what are we going to do?
Right.
And he said, well, if you don't speak, we don't eat. And it was my responsibility to translate for them during the course of our vacation.
Wow.
And I realized that being a member of a global community was really important.
Great, great. That's amazing. Now, being part of the global community, the first time I met you, we had this conversation as far as your dreadlocks. There was actually a time you actually cut your dreadlocks. But my question is this: how important it is to embrace cultural identity or diversity here, whether it be in San Diego or around the world?
Well, I think it's really important. I mean, there's definitely a correlation between diversity and a diverse team of people, and the ability to solve problems and challenges. If everyone thinks the same and looks at a problem the same, they're probably going to come with the same solution. That may not be the best solution. But when you bring together a group of diverse people with different types of perspectives on the world, it lends itself to creating the best possible solution, and it also means that you're engaging a lot of different people who see the world through a different lens.
That's great. That's great. Well, tell me, how long you been growing your dreadlocks for my audience?
Well, over 15 years. I've cut my locks several times.
Oh, wow.
After a while, the length might get to be somewhat of a security or safety issue, and swinging around power tools and machinery.
Right.
But
Okay.
but I think it's important that as the climate changes in different organizations, that you're accepting of people who express themselves in different ways, and I think that diversity and inclusion are definitely moving in that direction.
Well, that's great. Well, before we end this interview, there are two questions I have to ask you. Is this: what are some of your reasons as to why San Diego State University is the best place for cultural diversity, for education, all the above?
Well, San Diego State's one of the top 20 most ethnically diverse universities in the nation.
Right.
So it's an amazing playground for students, faculty, and staff to really explore the rich diversity of our campus and the surrounding community. The weather's great.
Yes,
but also,
the weather is great.
And the university has an amazing commitment to research. So we have students, over 2,000 students every year, study abroad. So they are bringing back an incredible amount of knowledge about the world that we live in. And I really appreciate that, and I think everyone here on our campus does as well.
Well, hey, thank you so much for being part of our SDSU community.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, then lastly, before we go, I'll have to ask you this. What is one advice to anybody out there who wants to be like you, to travel the world, to work in different governments, whether it be in Latin America and Africa, and have the position that you have? What is one advice would you give to anyone out there?
Get your passport. First thing you need to do is get your passport. You'd be surprised how many people in the United States don't have a passport.
Wow.
But that's really the key to opening up the doors to the rest of the world. Don't be afraid to try new things and meet new people. And I think everyone has a story to tell.
Right.
If you're willing to sit down and hear their story, then you learn so much about what their view is of the world and how you can make a difference to make it better for everyone.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and sharing your story to the world. Now, if my audience out there wishes to contact you, whether it be a visit here at San Diego State University, if not, just sit down with you and learn more about your extensive international resume, where can they go?
Well, you can find me online, obviously, through any San Diego State University website, sdsu.edu. But my email address is www.abruce, that's it.
Okay.
Abruce, A-B-R-U-C-E, at mail.sdsu.edu. Feel free to reach out, and I'd be glad to help any way I can.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And for all politics and people, you can go to my personal website, princessdailyjournal.com. For everything else, follow the links below. Until next time, be good to yourself and stay classy.